Hi everyone, I'm Michelle,
And I'm Jason.
and you are
Hanging
Hanging
with
with
the
the
Logans.
Logans. And we have some amazing news to share with you guys.
Yeah. Guess what?
We
We
bought
bought
the
the
block.
block.
So how does it feel, Jason?
It feels good. We had a goal and we went through the process and we achieved that goal. So it wasn't easy and we had to do a lot of steps to get here. And we'll talk about those steps, but it's rewarding to know that you got here. And there's still more work to do because we still have more goals and more things we got to take care of business. But I'm happy about it, and yeah, I mean, I'm happy. That's really all I can say. Like,
For
we
sure.
did it.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a sprint. It was indeed a marathon, but we had a plan, we had a goal in mind, and like he said, we definitely took all the necessary steps to make sure that we were able to accomplish our goal in 2022.
Yes.
Like we had immense focus and we were determined and we knew that, nothing was going to stop us.
Yeah.
And we really just made it happen. And honestly, it has a lot to do with having faith as well and really just believing in yourself and believing in your partner and just
Yeah.
seeing things through. But I think that the plan that we had was just solid, right? And we
Yeah.
just didn't deviate from it.
Yeah.
So,
You got to have faith. You got to have faith in the process. You got to work towards it. Roll with the ups and downs, and just keep going. Keep going.
absolutely.
What I'm most proud of is that we did it in our hometown.
Yeah.
We are homeowners already
Yes.
in our hometown, and we invested in our hometown
Absolutely.
on the same block.
On the same block. So
You
we
know,
are officially
buying
buying the
the
block.
block. Yeah, and especially because if you're from Jersey City, you know what has happened in Jersey City for a long time. Whether you just got here or you're natives like us who still live here, you know what's been happening with the city and how the changes has been really rapid, really since 9/11. Really,
Yeah.
like I think that was the turning point, and things were changing very fast. So
Yeah.
to be able to do it in a city that we're from and has had this uptick of investing, right,
Yes.
from outside people, we were able to do it by being natives,
Absolutely.
and it's
Born and
key.
raised here. I mean, I've lived here my entire life. Went to schools here all the way through university. Same thing for my husband. So we are Jersey City. And when we had many conversations where we sit back and we just look at the change that has taken place within the city over the past few years. Like you said, more so like over the past decade, I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
And we thought about, listen, should we stay? Should we go? And we really just decided to invest here. Like, you can sit back and complain about all the gentrification happening and people moving into the city and things not being the same or being priced out, whatever it may be, or you can do something about it and actually be a part of the change. And we chose to be a part of the change and be owners, in the city because we want to ultimately reap the rewards of all of the growth that's happening, and not just for us but for our child as well. I mean, for us, we're definitely thinking long term, and we're thinking about creating generational wealth so that we can pass down something to our daughter. So that's really what it was about for us and what really motivated us to make this move. So I'm super proud of us, and I know that this is just the beginning. This is investment property number one, but this is our second property that we own together, and we haven't even scratched the surface in terms of what we're gonna do.
right. And to take us back in time by how we got here. We got to remember investing takes many forms, and for us, a lot of it has to do with discipline,
Yeah.
with money first, and then it's investing in other vehicles to help you get to the point of
Yes.
investing in real estate. So for us, stocks was one of those things. We
Yes.
had a discipline plan, and that discipline carries over to other things. So investing in stocks was really one of the avenues for me, as half of the the
Yes.
half of the business, I focus a lot on stocks because I feel like it can give you the discipline and also give you the capital to get to the real estate.
Absolutely.
So I think, having a diversified mindset is part of what worked for us.
Absolutely. Yep. So we made it happen.
We did.
Yeah.
So you probably want to know what the plan was that we put in place. So, my part of the process, I kind of lead, more into stocks. So when we discussed what the plan was, I kind of took the track of stock investing. My wife is more into the aggressive cash savings part, which helps the stock investing. So it's a reciprocal relationship, which in turn helped with the real estate. So for me, it was, take some money from the cash pot of savings, which we heavily followed, and then take some of that money and invest it in stocks so we can maximize our capital between the cash and the stocks to go and buy the real estate. So that was really the plan. Even if we didn't have a plan, that was probably step one of the plan, was to really get the stock investing, you know, really nurture that so that that could feed any future investment we would make. Because
Yeah.
maybe it wasn't real estate, maybe it was a business, maybe it was, some other endeavor, but if we grew this stock investing account, we could fund, some other things because we would have extra capital from the market, increases. So
Yeah.
that was really the strategy for us.
Absolutely. And how we did that was we really just lived off of a certain percentage of our income. So we would get our, check, our weekly payroll check, direct deposited, and we have a certain portion of that go to a savings account. So we got used to not seeing the money, so we never missed it. And that really was the basis of our strategy is, keeping things simple, not living above our means, making wise choices and decisions, not to be just frivolous with money, and just being smart about, what we spent our money on, monitoring expenses going out the door. It really comes down to budgeting, right? Having a budget and being disciplined with your finances. And that really was our core
Yeah,
strategy
yeah.
was savings, and the savings, like he said, fueled the stock investing. So yeah, we just stuck to it.
So yeah. Discipline. It always comes down to having a plan, being disciplined, and also learning too, right? Like, because when you start something, you're not all knowing, right?
Yeah.
So you don't know as much as you might know 5 years down the line doing
Oh
this,
yeah.
as you evolve through your process. So you might be like, oh, I'm going to invest in this kind of thing,
Yeah.
and realize that, oh yeah, this stock isn't really that great. Now that you delve and you understand stuff, so you grow through the process. You make better decisions as you go. But the consistency of putting money away first, right? Having that discipline, knowing what comes in, what needs to be paid, what we got left, and then what we have left, where does it go?
Yeah.
And having that, down packed is important.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, you mentioned something very important too that I want to just discuss because, you talk about learning, right? And it's not just learning about, how to be more disciplined with the budget. It's also constantly learning about the market, understanding, the real estate industry, where interest rates are now, what does inventory look like, just figuring out what markets we want to be in, right? Do we want to invest here in like an urban environment? Do we want to, buy property down south? What markets do we want to be in, and what type of property do we want to acquire? We've spent so much time having so much discussion, right,
Yeah.
around those topics. Do we
Yeah.
want to buy a single family? Do we want to buy a multifamily? What makes most sense for our financial situation right now? I mean, so I feel like we talk all the time about finances and investments, and that's so important. And we're sending each other, links and, just different
Yeah.
articles to read. And, we're just constantly researching and educating ourselves. And I just can't stress the importance of doing that enough because it really, really helped to put us in a position to just be prepared and for what is happening right now,
right?
right?
Where we are
Yeah,
right
where we
now,
are right
today,
now, right?
as of
And
today.
absolutely, as of today, and just be prepared for the journey that we were going to go on, and now be prepared for being landlords, right? I mean, we've just done a ton of research, and it's really, been helpful.
Yeah.
So, why did we buy a multifamily property? We decided to buy a multifamily property. For us, it was about cash flow. The property that we own is a two-family, so there's two tenants, which means we get two streams of income coming to us every month. Also, because of we felt like it was a less risky investment. You know, the probability of both tenants becoming unemployed during an economic downturn is a lot lower than the probability of a single renter in a one-family property becoming unemployed. So for us, we're a little bit risk averse, so we thought there was a safer investment for us. Also, we thought about the long-term appreciation of the property. Two-family properties on average appreciate at a much higher rate than single-family homes. So for that reason, we also thought that it was a great investment for us. And what else were you thinking of when we bought this? Like,
Well, being close to us, right?
yes,
That's a a key
bingo.
factor in our decision was that yes, a two family, it had all those components you mentioned, but I guess the icing on the cake was that it was a few doors down, really from our primary residence. So being able to go there, maintain the property, have a relationship with the
Yes.
tenants, just keep an eye on it, especially being our first, real estate investment. It's a good thing that it was in our own city and literally on the same block.
Yeah.
So those are two big pluses of the
Yeah, you
whole
can't beat
thing.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, if
huge.
something goes wrong, if there's any maintenance issues or repairs needed, I'm sure we're going to get calls, but it's okay because we're right here. So
Right, yeah, yeah.
certain things we may be able to handle ourselves, or we can, reach out to our list of contractors in our database and be able to get them right over to the property. So it's definitely much easier when the property is in the same city that you live in. So yeah.
Yeah. And another thing I never mentioned, or we didn't discuss yet, was the idea of buying and holding a property versus flipping. That's something that we didn't talk about. So,
Yeah. So what do you prefer?
well, I'm a buy and hold, mindset. But I know we talked about flipping as well. I'm not opposed to flipping, but I think if we talk about generational
Yeah.
wealth, in order to do that, you got to own something.